Hello, everybody. Mike Welch coming to you from the paddock again at Churchill Downs, and an absolutely Chamber of Commerce morning here in Louisville, Kentucky. Hopefully the weather will be this good on Oaks and Derby Day. It was a quiet morning here, though, as far as the Derby and Oaks horses were concerned. There's only less than a dozen Derby horses on the grounds right now, and 4 of those worked yesterday, although Tacitus did come back out to the track this morning and had a relatively busy morning. He went to the paddock, schooled a little bit in the paddock, went to the starting gate, schooled in the starting gate. Will probably wind up walking tomorrow, and maybe the others that took the morning off will be back at the track tomorrow. No Derby workers here, no Derby workers anywhere as far as I know. Out on the track today, get another good look at Omaha Beach. He looks great here in the morning so far. We made the comment that he goes in draw reins every morning, and the horses that gallop in draw reins tend to look a little bit, I don't know, prettier or more energetic than the others, just because of the way they have their neck bowed and pulling against the rider, fighting and looking like they want to do more. But Omaha Beach generally has made a great impression since he's gotten here, and looking forward anxiously to seeing his final Derby work over the weekend. Although, coming out of the Arkansas Derby, it could just be a maintenance type slowish move, but still want to see him out there working once here prior to the big event. The horse I thought that looked the best this morning Derby-wise out there was Signal Man, and he's several spots down on the AE list, so probably won't even see him in the race. The one worker this morning during the Derby Oaks session, which is at 7:30 to 7:45 every morning, was Serengeti Empress, and she's prepping for the Kentucky Oaks. And this was a pretty significant work today because, as you know, she bled pretty badly in her last start, was eased coming to the wire. Her form prior to that was certainly good enough to make her one of the key contenders in the Oaks. So hopefully today we were looking for a big work and then for her to come back and scope clean, and that's exactly what happened. Serengeti Empress worked in company. She broke off about 3 lengths behind a stablemate, took a little dirt on the turn, got within a couple of lengths nearing the quarter pole, drew even at the top of the stretch, and then readily pulled away and did it pretty easily outside of her mate, who was being asked hard to try to keep up. I had the Serengeti Empress going the first 3 ace, 34 and 3, finished the 5 ace work in 58 flat, continued out 6 furlongs, galloping out in 111 and 2, and then eased up 7 furlongs, 126.19. And then the best news was trainer Tom Amis tweeted later that she did scope clean, and right now she's on go for the Kentucky Oaks. Because we had such a quiet day today, we're going to look back a little bit to this morning at some of the Derby workers I saw prior to coming here to Louisville down in Florida. And that was on Thursday and Friday last week. Thursday and Friday. And then we'll talk about another work that I did see on tape from down there, and an interesting work. But we'll start with Vekoma. He worked on Thursday at Palm Beach Downs for trainer George Weaver. Originally scheduled to work Friday. He moved the work up a day because of the forecast for rain, but really didn't do much at all. It was a maintenance half mile in 50 flat, coming off his victory in the Bluegrass. But George will bring him back for a more significant work this Friday. That's the schedule anyway, weather permitting. And jockey Javier Castellano will fly down to Florida specifically to work Vekoma. Now, the same thing happened the following morning. Todd Pletcher, also at Palm Beach Downs, decided to roll the dice a little bit and wait and take a chance with the weather. And he just snuck these works in. If the rain had come about an hour earlier, he might have had a little problem. But just before dawn, he worked spin-off and cutting humor in 2 different teams. And Manny Franco made that trip from New York down to Florida to be aboard Spin-off, who he will ride for the first time in the Kentucky Derby. Now, Spin-off, this was his 3rd work since his previous start, and the most significant one. He won 5 ace in company in 59 and 4 with the older Wooderson. Came home in 23 and 2, did it pretty easily, was slightly best of the pair, and then was asked hard to gallop out. I was watching the work standing next to Todd Pletcher, and he's always on the walkie-talkie with his riders, and I could hear him tell them to go on another quarter mile, and that's what he did. Went out the 7 ace in 127 and 4. He's looked good. He's looked good the last 2 weeks I've seen him. Now, Cutting Humor came next, and it was raining, starting to rain pretty significantly at that point. And this is the 2nd work I've seen of Cutting Humor as well. And of the 2, I think he's training the better of the pair. He went 5 ace in company with Last Judgment in 59 and 2. His final quarter in 23, and he too was asked to go out, and he went out 3/4 in 12-3, and 7/8 in 26-2, a full second faster than Spinoff had done just a couple of minutes earlier. So love the way Cutting Humor's coming into the race. Obviously, numbers-wise and maybe even classing up-wise, he's going to have to move forward, but he couldn't be doing any better. And both these horses, unlike Todd, who usually comes in here and likes to get his last work in before the Derby here at Churchill Downs, he's staying down at Palm Beach Downs, and they'll have their final works there on Friday morning, again, weather permitting. Now, on Sunday at Palmetto's, Maximum Security, this is the second work he's had since coming out of his victory in the Florida Derby. Now, Maximum Security, as most of the Jason Servers horses do not train in conventional style. He won a mile in 1:57. What it is basically a 2-minute gallop, and then the last part of it, the last 3/8 or last half mile, he lets them pick up the pace a little bit. The week before, when I was down there, he actually went in 2 minutes and 1 second, and Jason was a little unhappy with the rider. He just took it a little too easy with him. They picked up the pace on Sunday, 1:57. Again, didn't finish as strong as he would have liked, so he's going to come back again on Monday. He, too, is staying down in South Florida. He's going to do the same thing on Monday before all of these horses get on a plane and fly here on Tuesday for the Derby, and we'll get to see them locally for the first time, I guess, on Wednesday. Nobody scheduled to work tomorrow, Oaks-wise or Derby-wise. Thursday, Chocolate Kisses for the Oaks. Friday, not sure, maybe War of Will for the Derby. And then the weekend is going to be very busy. We're keeping an eye out on trainer Bob Baffert and his plans for Roadster and Game Winner. Not sure if he's bringing him here for their final works or keeping them in California, but we'll keep you up to date on that. We'll be back again on a daily basis, leading right up again to Kentucky Derby 2019, right here on DRF.com.